Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. As I mentioned earlier, Governor Alfred Mutua joins us now. Welcome to studio.
Thank you very much.
Let's start from what we just prompted before the break, that you've been out of the country for a while. That has become the subject of some sort of political storm brewing around yourself and what you've been delivering. Where have you been? And since you have claimed that your tours were based on development, what intangible terms have you brought back to the people of Machakos, and if you could value it for us?
Well, I went to Tanzania. You know, Tanzania is one of our largest trading partners, looking at the different agricultural works that we can do between the two countries. I also went to the United Arab Emirates, specifically Dubai and also in Abu Dhabi. And what I was doing is this: I have noticed that one of the largest problems we have, and the poll that you showed today, is high unemployment. We need to get our young people employed because they're just sitting at home, you know, wondering what happened to their lives. And I was looking for jobs for our people, because you look for jobs in two ways. You get opportunities for employment, whereby I was able to secure about 2,000 jobs for our youth to go only as professionals, not as maids, security, or washing toilets. Professionals. You have to have a diploma or a degree to be able to secure good jobs in the United Arab Emirates or in the Gulf, good jobs where you can be able to even channel some money home, so you're not sitting at home for 2 to 3 years as we build our economy. The second one was also to create jobs at home. You don't create jobs at home by just talking. You create jobs at home by investments. Because when these investors come here and they're able to put up factories, they're able to put up new deals, there's that replication. For example, we signed a deal with Ashok Leyland, which is, you remember the Leyland buses?
Right.
And they're opening a manufacturing plant in Machakos of motor vehicles. And they're putting in $6 million to start with this year as they continue. When they put up the plant, you'll find that all of a sudden, all other industry will grow around them because they need batteries. They need the mabatis, the steel for the vehicles. They need the wires, they need the lights. So all of a sudden you'll get about 1,000, 2,000 young people employed directly and indirectly all at once. Now, I got fruit factories, 3 different fruit factories, companies that are coming to put up fruit factories so they can buy fruits from our farmers that are just rotting on the ground. So they're able to put up, you know, one is spending, I believe, about 500 million Kenya shillings to put up a fruit factory that produces pulp. So instead of our mangoes rotting on the ground, now our mothers can take the mangoes, get some money, and take their kids to school, buy better shoes, and also the factories will be employing our own people. Yeah. And eventually we'll also be producing juice called Masako.
Sounds good.
Yes.
But when do you actually expect that work
These
to
are works that are starting immediately. Within the next 1 month, we hope to be able to. Most of these companies have already come here. This was like the final bits of discussion where I needed to go shake hands, squeeze them. We've done feasibility studies with them. Others are new, coming to look at the exploration. So within the next 1 month, we'll be finalizing 1 or 2 things. Within 3 months, we should be breaking ground in most of these factories. All right,
let's talk specifically about the Ashok Leyland deal. And there was an exchange to be done of land for the investment that you're going to do. And the members of your county assembly have already told you, forget about that. We're no longer just going to dish out land. And they say that...
Which members? I'm surprised because I've not heard about that.
Well, they have said it, and it has been a conglomerate of them. And more importantly, they're saying that you cannot unilaterally dish out land as
Nobody dishes out land. And I think this is why Africa remains a poor continent compared to others. You look at a country like Croatia, or Serbia rather, when they got with the breakaway of Yugoslavia, they invited investors and they gave land to investors. You're not giving land for free. It's a barter trade. You're saying, come here, put up this factory. Today they produce a majority of vehicles that are sold in Europe. There are people employed. They are such a growing economy that they're offering scholarships to our children to go and study in their country. You find that people need to understand that land is an asset. And land is something that I can use to trade with. We are trading with the land. We are telling people, come put up a factory, employ so many people. The land still belongs to us. Basically, we are just giving you an opportunity. Instead of that land just staying there being grazed on by cattle and goats and squirrels, we are transforming that land into our gold.
I suppose I'm not doubting that the idea would be a good one. It's a question of procedure, whether due process is followed in giving that land over.
You see, the land process And the reason we've not yet finalized, because there's a long procedure. We had to do a PDP that has been done. We've had to do consultations with the public hearings, national land commissions. So there are stages of how it's done. It's not just Mutua waking up and dishing out land. No, there are procedures of how it's done. And the county assembly actually set clear procedures and guidelines of how it needs to be done, what happens when somebody is given land. That's why I was a bit surprised when he said members. I think there are few members allied to what I call anti-development sector of Machakos, the people who just want us to remain the way we've been, who make a lot of noise. One or two people scream and they think it's a majority of the county assembly members. Majority of Machakos County Assembly members are working with me. They have seen the changes we've done. They have seen there is hope. We don't have to remain poor. We were not born to languish in poverty just because we've always been poor. Our mothers don't have to keep on carrying mitungis of water or drinking dirty water from rivers. And that's a
fair point, and we'll come to the politics of that development and Maendeleo chap, and if it's actually happening or not. But let's listen first to what your deputy governor has to say about your travels and basically just up and leaving with no explanation. Listen, then we'll talk.
Thank you. Last time I heard from Governor Mutua, it was through social media when he was in Dar es Salaam. From Dar es Salaam, I'm told he went all the way to Dubai. And from Dubai, he went to India. From India, he's gone to Mexico. And he's chasing investors. When he left the county of Machakos, he don't hand over anything to me, including his official diary.
So he's basically naming a few other areas, India, Mexico, etc., and basically saying there was no handover. The bottom line really being that your travels do not allow for the county to be governed properly. That you're not engaged, you just disappear.
Well, I think I've traveled many times, and many people travel all the time. And the president travels, governors travel. And when you travel, does not mean that there's no governance. You are still in touch, you're keeping touch. And it is very clear, I mean, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. He said I was in India, I was not in India. He said I was in Mexico, I'm not in Mexico. People should talk about what they know about or shut up. Because, you know, their job is, and you can hear the tone of voice, it's not meant to talk about the county of Machakos. It's just politics. It's people trying to cause a brouhaha, trying to get political mileage. And this has been the problem in this country. We play politics all the time at the expense of the people. Nobody stopped him from getting down to work. I mean, nobody stops anybody from, and I encourage everybody to work. We all need to hold hands and move together.
But do you have a working relationship with him? You've had squabbles for quite a while now.
Squabbles, and we are dealing with them. And
do you actually get work done together?
I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to make him an issue, because to me he's a non-issue right now. The people,
he's your deputy.
The people who are an issue right now are the mothers and fathers who, with this dry spell, are looking at another season of being given food relief, which is a shame. Those are my issues. Those are the people I would rather talk about. What am I doing? What am I going to do? Because I don't want that shame of food relief that we see in Ukambani all the time while people are playing sideshows. I don't want Anne to be caught up with sideshows, because that is what they're aiming. They're aiming, we spend time here speaking about sideshows, which is what they want, instead of concentrating on what matters.
We're here to speak about politics and development, and so we will do it in a phased approach as I get to it. But to the question of politics, which is the one that we're on right now, you seem to be the governor who cannot work with people, to the extent that all other leaders in Ukambani are singing a different tune, and that largely remains a wiper tune.
Which are the other leaders? You see, the thing is, we have brought up a new way of thinking. And when you bring up a new way of thinking, you'll always be opposed. People, I mean, was it Galileo Leonardo da Vinci in jail for saying that the earth is round, not flat? There are some people who are still singing in Ukambani that the world is flat. Well, we all know that the world is round. When you come up with a new idea that threatens the status quo, people are always going to be opposed to you. But change has come. And with the new constitution, we now have an opportunity to transform not only Ukambani region, but also this country. This is a time when we can now either blow it by getting into politics that we've done for 50 years, or grab it and run with it and transform this country into what we see in Europe, South Africa, Australia, the Americas, and it is possible because we are smart people, we are hardworking people. But we have to shift our focus.
Fair enough. Who else in Ukambani as a leader is shifting focus with you?
A lot of leaders are. If you look at, for example, I've got the MP from Wala, several MPs from Makueni, 2-3 MPs from Kitui, 3-4 MPs from Machakos. They all aligned to me. I've got about 12 to 15 MPs. Others come to me, they tell me, you know, Wiper is a dictatorship. If we are seen with you, we'll be in trouble. But you know, we are with you, we're working with you. People basically in Wiper live in fear. They live in fear. They are afraid if you speak out, you'll get in trouble. So they are shocked that I can stand and speak out because we cannot allow party, dictatorship. And we are not talking about people here. I respect leaders. And every elected leader needs to be respected. Kalonzo Musyoka needs to be respected. My Senator Mudhama needs to be respected. That's why I don't even speak ill about them. You know, Senator Mudhama keeps on calling me names, talking. I don't talk about him because I respect him.
But you did talk about the vice president, the former vice president, I beg your pardon.
Yes, I did.
Kalonzo Musyoka just over the weekend, and you said that he has had a hand in your wars in destabilizing your county
I was waiting for you to, I was actually eagerly waiting for you to come to this point, which he has. And I told him politely. I told him, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, keep off from interfering with the running of our government. He's been doing it consistently since he became governor. I mean, he calls MCAs. They come to my office, he calls them. They put him on speakerphone. He's telling them, finish this Mutua. Do this, A, B, C, D. Get rid of Mutua. Can you get other people? Come, I give you money. I listen. I'm not talking about things that I'm dreaming about. He calls them to his
You're
home.
alleging that Kalonzo Musyoka has offered to bribe MCAs in order for them to destabilize your government.
And they are willing and ready to come forward and say it. You know, I was with them yesterday. They say, yeah, we are ready. Call us, you know, we are going to say it. And some of them have even stood. Even yesterday when we were in Mwala, one of them stood and talked about how he was called. You know? And the thing is this, we are saying this. The only reason Kalonzo Musyoka is trying to remove me as governor is not because I've done anything wrong. It's only because I have brought in a new way of thinking, which is the people first, the elite later. The way of thinking of saying we concentrate on the mother, the youth who had no jobs, the roads that need to be built, and the stomachs and the power of the elite later. That is what is rattling him and the rest of the leaders.
You've said people first,
yes,
and I want to follow up on that. Do you think the people of Ukambani are still purely Wiper?
No, they're not purely Wiper. We saw it in the last general elections because you look at we've got quite a number of 4 MPs from Machakos are not Wiper. You look at several MPs, an MP Kitui is not Wiper. Even the governor of Makueni went with Muungano, with others, with MCs, they are not Wiper. Wiper did not do a sweep. And things have changed.
He did, though, command about 1 million or so votes in the last election.
Which is okay, and I voted for him.
And do you think he still has the same clout?
No, I think things have changed. Things have changed. And things have changed because people are asking difficult questions. And they're starting to say, yes, we've supported you for this long, but what have you done for us? You know, it's a shame. Because if you've been in government for over 30 years, as an individual, and there isn't even a tarmac road that leads even to your village, to where you come from, there isn't, you go to your area, there's lack of water, and you've been so-called the leader of the region, and you've been in government accessing government resources where you can direct and say, let's do this. And you know, people talk ill, for example, of Mama Charity Ngilo. Was it Charity Ngilo? You know, Machakos, I'm a big beneficiary of the work that Charity Ngilo did when she was Minister for Health and also for Water. Because she made sure that a lot of dispensaries, clinics were actually built en masse throughout Ukambani. Now, I'm just improving on them and able to help. But I look around, there's nothing that I can build on that Kalonzo Musyoka worked on for the last 30 years that I can say he did these boreholes or he did this work and all. But this should not be a competition between Mutua and Kalonzo Musyoka.
And yet it sounds very much like it. He says he's going to run for the presidency in 2017.
Which is good. Which is good.
Will you support him in 2017?
Well, when the time comes, I'll decide. But we back him up. If he wants to run for president, we'll support him for president.
Are you still a bona fide Wiper member?
I'm a bona fide Wiper member, but the way Wiper is moving, you know, Waswahili wanasema kufukuzana kwambii toka. Na ushaumwa na nyoka, akiona unyasi, anashtuka. So, you know, we know how things go. And I'd like to declare here that I do not think that in the next general elections I'm going to run on Wiper. Because of one fact, I don't trust him. I don't trust the party leader. He calls me, tells me, Governor, let's work together. I tell him, yes, let's have a meeting. When can we have coffee? Yes, yes, yes. We talk nicely. He hangs up. I'm in my office. He calls an MCA who says, Kalonzo is calling me. He starts telling the MCA how to finish me. We just finished talking.
The president is often in Machakos. Will you be vying on a TNA ticket?
Let me just finish. No. I'm not vying on a TNA ticket. I'm not vying on a Jubilee ticket whatsoever. I'm not vying on a CORD ticket per se. The time will come, I'll make a decision. Will
Maendeleo Chap Chap evolve into a political party? Currently it's a movement.
It's a movement.
Will you register it as a political party?
When the time comes and I feel that that's the right path to go, then I will take that path and I'll make an announcement. Because what matters to me is a movement or a party that has the hearts of the people first. We have to shift the debate in this country from personalities, from who is who, to what is what. Look at the American elections that are going on, the nominations. It's all about policy. People are judging people on, okay, what will you do, how will you do it? And you, not because of who you ndio kiongozi wa kabila hili, tunamfuata blindly kwenda kichinjioni. We don't want that. Our people have suffered enough. And, you know, people ask me, Mutua, you know, you're ruining your political future. Go to Machakos. I listen to the people in Makwen and others. I have a large number of people who support me because they have realized Alfred Mutua is not worried about Alfred Mutua. Alfred Mutua is more worried about getting water to that household than about himself. I'm more worried. I hate it when I see our students, our young boys walking to school with tattered clothes, without shoes to school. What kind of shame is this? When our mothers are hungry, what kind of shame in this, in a region that has had leaders in very high positions? Right. You know, Governor, we cannot allow it, you know.
I hear you. We are running out of time. You've talked about what people say. Some say you're seated on this show as effectively the immediate former governor of Machakos County, because there shall be a Wiper wave. Ukambani is purely an opposition stronghold, and so you must be seen to be with the party of the day. Do you think that regardless of all the development you talk, that you may very well pay the political price for it, sacrifice at the altar of perhaps is it our ethnic affiliations when it comes to electioneering?
No, I don't think that will happen. In actual fact, it may be reversed for the other people. This is because our people now are smarter. We have a larger population of young people than before who are well educated, who want a better quality of life, who have seen the differences before of what was there before and what is there now. So I'm not worried at all. And I'm going to move forward. And there's going to be a wave in Ukambani. And I can assure you one today. Today is what? The 13th of March. I can assure you, God willing, with the blessings of God, there's going to be a wave in Ukambani, and it is not going to be a Wiper wave. And
you will not be vying on a Wiper ticket come 2017. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Governor Alfred Mutua.
I invite, you know, one of the things is, sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I invite people to share ideas. I'm saying I can work with all leaders as long as we are working together towards our people. And people, if you follow me, can I plug in at Dr. Alfred Mutua on Facebook?
Okay,
or
I'll allow it.
At Dr. Alfred Mutua on Twitter, and we can keep the conversation going on.
Governor.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. We're taking a break on Sunday Live. We're back with more news.